Hauntings. One night, before or after World War II, when she was a girl, my mother saw a ghost. For whatever reason, perhaps a sixth sense, perhaps chance, she looked out the window of her sharecropper's shack in Somerville, East Texas, and spied a figure gliding across a field. The figure of a man, a Black man, fuzzy around the edges. The cloud-like apparition appeared to run, but his feet made no sound. They touched no ground. With wide eyes, the girl tracked its movement. Years later, when Mom told me this story, I asked, "How did you know it was a ghost?" "Well," she said, "there was a fence at the end of the field. The ghost didn't climb the fence, it passed through it." I instinctively knew the ghost was that of a runaway slave who didn't make it. Whether he was running for refuge with an Eastern Indian tribe or south to the Mexico border, he ran during the time before fences subdivided the plantation into sharecroppers' plots. Although years have passed since Mom told me the story, I still cry when I think of it. I question not whether she saw something or imagined it. I question not whether it was smoke or shadow. I don't care whether or not the ghost was real. A ghost is a series of unanswered questions. And the questions I have, I will address to the ghost himself. Why are you still here? The Civil War ended. Juneteenth came for every slave but you. No doubt, if I were to return to Texas today and stand on the plot of land where my mother's shack once stood, you would still cross that field night after night. Why? Something is unresolved. I'm struck that my mother's story is essentially the same story as those of today. The places, names, and details change, but they are the same story. A rope around the neck, a knee on the neck, blood on the earth, blood on the street. A jogger who never made it home, a slave who never made it to freedom. These are all the same story. It seems that we are doomed to repeat the same story day after day, century after century. We are stuck in a loop. No, even worse, a Mobius strip. We keep going around and around, repeating the same story. Sad to say, a fleeing Black man can still be shot in the back today. I'm confused which century I'm in, the 19th or the 21st. Is there a way that we can break this cycle that is stronger than the chains that once held you, that once held us? Violence and racism haunt our land to this day. Must we create new versions of the same old story to tell future generations? Can we tell a new story? Can we create a new ending? Perhaps your hauntings will cease when the living achieve the freedom you ran for.